Okay, we're back for quiz 28. And just to get a big shout out mentions here, get them out of the way. Gene and Davey got a big 27 last week. That was their best score, 27. That was good going. Josie and Bill got a 26. Andre done well too. He's enjoying it. Billy and Margaret, who got in the high 20s too. And considering they didn't get a good music round, that was a good score. Stevie and Rita in the high 20s again, maybe 30. And Dawn and John, who's getting into the routine now, and Caroline and Brian, right? I'm looking forward to connection round. I've made this one up and I hope it's not too hard. You need to think outside the box for the connection round today. I don't think many people will get the connection, but you give it a go. It's a surprise how many people does get it like, but right, number one, we're gonna start off the music round to get you warmed up for this connection. Number one in the music, Roy C had a hit in the 60s and the 70s with the same song. What was it? Roy C. Okay, so Roy C had a big hit in the 60s. He also had it in the 70s. What was the name of the song? Okay, number two. Who reached the top four in 1972 with the song Come What May? Okay, who reached the top four in 1972 with the song Come What May? And number three, Major Tom is mentioned in two songs by David Bowie. One is Space Oddity. What's the other one? Okay, so Major Tom is mentioned in two songs. Space Oddity is one. What's the other song? And number four, I don't know why you still remember this one, but a good wee number. Who had a hit in 1975 with Sugar Candy Kisses? Okay. Who had a hit in 1975 with Sugar Candy Kisses? And number five, what 70s song contains the lyrics, I lay awake at night not knowing where you are? Okay, so what 70s song contains the lyrics, I lay awake at night not knowing where you are? And number six, who was the only member of the Spice Girls whose name was an actual spice? So, who was the only member of the Spice Girls whose name was actually a spice? And number seven, which singer appeared in the 1986 film Labyrinth? Okay, so which singer appeared in the 1986 film Labyrinth? Because I use it. And number eight, Archie, Betty, Jughead, Reggie and Veronica were members of a group which had their only number one hit in the UK and the US in 1969. What was the name of the group? Okay, so the group's members were Archie, Betty, Jughead, Veronica, and Archie, Betty, Jughead, Reggie and Veronica. So what was the name of the group? They had their only number one hit in the USA and the UK in 1969. So we're looking for the name of the group. Okay, if you want to go over some of them, pause it, go back, and I'm going to give you the answers here, okay? Roy C had a hit in the 60s and 70s with the same song. What was it? Shotgun Wedding. Okay, so it was Shotgun Wedding. And who released the top four? Who reached the top four in 1972 with the song Come What May? Vicky Leandros. Okay, Vicky Leandros. And Major Tom is mentioned in two songs by David Bowie. One was Space Oddity and the other one is Ashes to Ashes. Okay, Ashes to Ashes. Who had a hit in 75 with Sugar Candy Kisses? It was Mac and Katie Kassoon. What 70s song contains the lyrics, I lay awake at night not knowing where you are? It's The Secrets That You Keep by Mud. And who was the only member of the Spice Girls whose name was a spice? Ginger Spice, Jerry Halliwell, Ginger Spice. And which singer appeared in the 1986 film Labyrinth? David Bowie. And Archie, Betty, Jughead, Reggie and Veronica were all members of the Archies, who had a hit in 1969 in the USA and the UK with the Archies. Sugar, 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 my not blanker, sugar, sugar. Right, print them scores up. And this is the one I've been busting to do all week. This is the one I've been trying to think. I thought of a subject, what could I have as a subject? And he's right. Then I have to come along with the questions to get the subject. But when you get the answer of the question he asked, that answer mightn't be what the connection is, but you'll have to think outside the box for that answer, and it'll be connected in some other way to the answer. But hopefully if you get two of them, it'll jump out at you like. Okay, number one, the connection round. So 7 questions, and number 8 is what connects all the questions. Number 1, what do all the spots on a dice add up to? Okay, number 1, what do all the spots on a dice add up to? Hope somebody gets this. Number 2, Diana Ross had a hit about which old instrument? Diana Ross had a hit about which old instrument? Okay. Who had hits in 1976 with Sir Duke and Isn't She Lovely? Who had hits with Sir Duke and Isn't She Lovely? 76. Well, they all came from the one album. Number 4. Disney World is in which US state? Disney World is in which US state? You try and write these down, see if the connection, you'll get a connection somewhere. What animal did Val Doonigan sing about that won a half-mile race? What animal did Val Doonigan sing about that won a half-mile race? And number 6, where would you find a parliament called the Tinwald? Where would you find a parliament called the Tinwald? And number 7, you're born with 270 alleles, but as you get older, this decreases to 206. Okay, so what is it? Okay, you're born with 270 alleles when you're born, but as you get older, it decreases and you end up with 206 of them. So what is it? Number 8, what connects all these answers? Took me a few days thinking of this here one. I hope somebody gets this, or I'll feel bad. I'll be happy if one person gets it. So go over these again, rewind it, and write the answer down, and or write all your answers down and see if a connection jumps out at you. Don't forget, you might have to go offline a bit outside the box for some of them. Okay, what do all the spots on a dice add up to? Here's the answers. If you want to pause this and go back because the answers are coming. What do all the spots on a dice add up to? 21. Diana Ross had a hit about which old instrument? My old piano. Who had hits in 76 with Sir Duke and Isn't She Lovely? Stevie Wonder. Disney World is in which state? Florida. What animal did Val Doonigan sing about that won a half-mile race? It was Delaney's donkey. It was a donkey. And where would you find a parliament called the Tinwald? The Isle of Man. And you're born with 270 alleles, but as you get older, this decreases to 206. What is it? It's bones in your skeleton. Bones. Your skeleton contains 206 bones. Right. The connection. I'm hoping some people has got this, even one. I'll be if one person gets it. Right. So what do all the spots on a dice add up to? 21. 21, sometimes called Key of the Door. Diana Ross had a hit about which old instrument? My Old Piano, which has 88 keys. Who had hits with Sir Duke and Isn't She Lovely? Stevie Wonder, and they both came from the album Songs in the Key of Life. And Disneyland World is in which US state? Florida, which has the Florida Keys. And which animal did Val Doonigan sing about that 1.5 mile race? Delaney's donkey, Donkey, key, donkey. Where would you find a parliament called the Tynwald? The Isle of Man. And the House of Keys is also the elected lower house of the Tynwald, the House of Keys. And you're born with 270 alleles, but as you get older, this decreases to 206. What is it? The bones in your skeleton. You can get a skeleton key. So the connects all the answers is key or keys. If you have keys, you've done well there. Hope it wasn't too hard for you, but I made that one up and I thought, the scores are getting too high. We cut them down a bit. Right. We general round. Number 1. Who published The Origin of the Species by Means of Natural Selection? Okay, so who published that book? Who published The Origin of the Species by Means of Natural Selection? Here's a tough one. The only one I would think would get this would be Rita's William. I think Rita's William would get this. What is it that Batman used to have, but hasn't got one now? And Spider-Man is the only superhero to have one now. Okay, what is it Batman used to have, but hasn't got one now? And Spider-Man is now the only superhero to have one. What is it? Number 3, here's another tough one here. How was Cedric, maybe Josie and Billy and Margaret might get this one. How was Cedric City Earl known by in the title of a 1886 novel by Francis Hodgson Burnett? So how was Cedric City Earl known by in the title of an 1886 novel by Francis Hodgson Burnett? Here's another wee tough one too. I think Josie will get this one. Who was the first group to reach number 1 in the UK? It was in the 60s. Who was the first British group to reach number 1 in the UK? Okay, the first British group to reach number 1 in the UK. Number 5. Who is the only British Prime Minister to have spoken English as his second language? Who is the only British Prime Minister to have spoken English as his second language? And number 6. What city in Scotland would you find Arthur's seat? In which city in Scotland would you find Arthur's seat? Number 7. According to the makers, they say the original colour of this alcoholic drink is dark ruby red. According to the makers, they say the original colour of this drink is dark ruby red. So what's the drink? Okay. And number 8, another wee tough one. Which footballer married one of the Beverly sisters? Which footballer married one of the Beverly sisters? I think we're going to have to put the part pass mark down. If you get 23 to 24 this week, is it going well? 23 to 24 is your target this week. Okay, I'm going to pause it. So if you're going to pause it, I'm going to give you the answers out and then put your scores down. Don't forget to write your scores down. Let me know what you've done. Who published The Origin of the Species by Means of Natural Selection in 1859? It was Charles Darwin. And what is it that Batman used to have but hasn't got one now? And Spider-Man is the only super to have one now. But Batman had one for the first 2 episodes in Detective Comics. And Spider-Man's the only one to have one now. It's Spider-Man. It used to be Bat-Man. Then they just done Bat with his logo and then the man. But they've done away with that. It's just called the Batman now. Or Batman. And it's still Spider-Man's the only one that has a hyphen in his name. Spider-Man. He's the only one to have one now. How was Cedric C.D. Earle known by in the title of an 1886 novel by Francis Hodgson Burnett? Billy and Josie might get this. It's Little Lord Fauntleroy. I think Billy and Margaret might get that. Margaret and Billy might know it. Josie and Billy would say so one of them two will get that. Number 4. Who were the first group that reached number 1 in the UK? It was in the 60s. The Beatles was the second group to reach number 1 in the USA. But the first British group in the UK, the first British group to have a number 1 hit in the UK, the USA, was the Tornadoes with Telstar. It's a musical one. 63 or something. 62, it was 62. Who is the only British Prime Minister to have spoken English as his second language? It was David Lloyd George. He was Welsh. He spoke Welsh as his first language. On what city in Scotland would you find Arthur's seat? Edinburgh. And according to the makers, they say the original colour of this alcoholic drink is dark ruby red. It's Guinness. It's not black. They say it's dark ruby red. And which footballer married one of the Beverley sisters? Billy Wright. Okay, Billy Wright. Okay, all them scores up. And we're going to go on to round 4. We asked first. Let's see. Okay, round 4. Quality Street. Everybody's had seen the tin at Christmas. Quality Street, the tin of sweets. But what are these sweets named after? What was Quality Street named after? Number 2. What's a drawing called in which the subject's features are exaggerated? Okay, what's a drawing called? People get them done on holidays. You take my photo here and a wee man draws them, a wee woman draws you. So what's a drawing called in which the subject's features are exaggerated? What's it called? I'm looking 1 year LRY for this question. In which year did the National Lottery start in the UK? So if you're 1 year other side, so you have 3 years to get it right. Number 4. In 1947, Chuck Yeager became the first man to do what? In 1947, Chuck Yeager became the first man to do what? And number 5. What did Laszlo Barrow invent in 1944? What did Laszlo Barrow invent in 1944? Number 6. Which book of the Bible means disclosure or unveiling? Which book of the Bible means disclosure or unveiling? And number 7. Complete this proverb. You cannot make a silk purse out of a... Okay. Complete this proverb. You cannot make a silk purse out of a... What? And number 8. In which TV sitcom did Barbara Lott play the domineering mother of meek librarian Timothy Lumsden? In which TV sitcom did Barbara Lott play the domineering mother of meek librarian Timothy Lumsden? Okay, so if you want to pause that and go back on some of them, I'm going to give you the answers here. Then we'll go on to the final round and all of their scores. Quality Street, the tin of sweets, but what are these sweets named after? Quality Street was named after a play by J.M. Barrie, the Peter Pan one. J.M. Barrie, a play by J.M. Barrie. What is a drawing called in which the subject's features are exaggerated? A caricature. And in which year did the National Lottery start in the UK? I'll give you 1 year other side. So it was 1994. So if you put down 93, 94, 95, give yourselves a point. And what did Laszlo Barrow invent in 1944? The ballpoint pen. If you wrote pen, I'll give you that there. But it was a ballpoint pen. And which book of the Bible means disclosure or unveiling? It's Revelation. Number 7, complete this proverb. You cannot make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. In which TV sitcom did Barbara Lott play the domineering mother of meek librarian Timothy Lumsden? It was called Sorry. It was Ronnie Corbett, wasn't it? Ronnie Corbett. Right, final round. Don't forget, what did I say? It was 23 or 24. You're going for this. If you get anything around that score, you're going well. Adolf Dassler founded the sportswear brand Adidas. Part of his first and second name, Adolf and Dassler, Adidas. But his brother also founded a sportswear brand. What sportswear brand did his brother found? Okay, Adolf Dassler founded the sportswear brand Adidas, but his brother also founded a sportswear brand. What was it called? You can still get it now. What was the name of the preacher man's son? What was the name of the preacher man's son in Dusty Springfield hit? Okay. What was the name of the preacher man's son in the Dusty Springfield hit? Number 3. Dara Ennis joined the chase in 2020 as a new chaser. What's his nickname? Dara Ennis joined the chase in 2020 as a new chaser. What is his nickname? And number 4. Who is a presenter of Long Lost Family? Who is a presenter of Long Lost Family? And finish off this Samuel Johnston quote. When a man is tired of London, what's the next line? Finish the Samuel Johnston quote. When a man is tired of London, what's the next line? Number 6. What country is said to have the world's oldest flag design? Okay, so which country is said to have the world's oldest flag design? Number 7. According to Elvis Presley, what street is Heartbreak Hotel in? Okay, according to Elvis, what street is Heartbreak Hotel in? Here's a tough one, but you can probably guess this. Heard it many times when I listened to the commentary. In a greyhound race, if the white dog wins, number 3, and the 2 dog comes second, the blue dog, and the 1 dog comes third, what does the commentator usually call this result? In a greyhound race, if number 3 wins, number 2 is second, and number 1 is third, what does the commentator usually call this result? Okay, so I want to go over some of them. I'm going to give you the answers, and this is the final round, and I hope you get around 23, 24. You'll be doing well. If you get 23 towards 23, you're all doing well. Adolf Dassler founded the sportswear brand Adidas, but his brother also founded a sportswear brand. And what is it? You still see it today. It's Puma. His brother invented Adidas, and he invented Puma. What was the name of the preacher man's son in the Dusty Springfield hit? Tells you in the first line. Billy Ray. Billy Ray was a preacher's son. Dara Ennis joined the chase in 2020 as a new chaser. What is his nickname? It's the Menace. And who is the presenter of Long Lost Family? Davina McCall. And finish off this Samuel Johnston quote. When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life. Which country is said to have the world's oldest flag design? Denmark. And according to Elvis, what street is Heartbreak Hotel in? Lonely Street. And in a greyhound race, if 3 wins, 2 comes second and 1 comes third. It's a 3-2-1. It's a Ted Rogers. The commentator calls it as a Ted Rogers. A 3-2-1. Okay, add up them scores, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you liked the connection round. I hope it wasn't too hard. Gets you thinking anyway. Some people may have got it within a couple when they put 2 and 2 together. Let me know if you did. Okay, see you again next week. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you again soon.